And those answers you gotta run.
Protect.
One of them is what do you
That's
know
the
about the
power
bandwidth of
of we.
fintech or fintech or a stabilizing
Yeah, so actually we
technology,
took a very
plumb
big
bob,
picture view of the
bubble
whole
level.
space. Again, thanks for having me on the show. We looked at 50 fintech stocks over multiple quarter, multiple years, and what you're seeing is that they closely track organic growth for the companies, which makes sense. It's very, it actually makes sense when you think about it.
Sure.
But there is a turning point, which means we've troughed in terms of growth decline. We've troughed in the first or second quarter, and that's why we're actually calling for a massive rebound of the whole space into the second half. And I think what you're seeing today is probably the beginning of that. So it's actually fundamentally backed.
I think what the
for the whole
fundamentals
space,
tell
and
you
there's
is
some
wrong
selective
about
stock
that
picking
type of
where we
thinking
think we can
about
get
it
some
without
extra,
having
extra
the
alpha.
capital
Wait a minute. Tell me
to
about
be
this growth
over
decline. We're not
it
supposed to
in
have
just
growth declines amongst, super hot
bandwidths
startup
and
names.
stuff.
What's been
for
going? I mean,
sure.
obviously we know the Robinhood story, but
Anyways.
what's the story for the
Right.
rest of the space?
Yeah, it's not declines. I should take it back. It's actually decelerating growth, right?
If
So
you look
stocks
at the
are,
old tech
stocks
to
actually
how
react
long the
very
market
positively when growth
lasts
is
and
reaccelerating.
realize how
what we've
long the
been through
market's
because of
been
the,
open
I call it like
to
FIFO,
marginally
right? First in, first
utilitarian,
out. So we went into
monopolist,
COVID.
diminishing returns.
Tech benefited dramatically for fintech specifically
Well,
dramatically
again,
from COVID.
it's a little
It also
different
saw
when
the
you're
toughest
saying, well,
comps,
all right, I do have
because
things,
of
but
COVID. For
there's
example,
indexes of
Robinhood's
using
toughest
those
comp is the first quarter
indexes
of
to the
2022,
result,
right? Because that's the mean stock
or what the
kind
adjustment
of
would
era
be
of
off
last
of that.
year. So once we get through that, so
Given
it's not like growth is
This, because then
declining.
it's
it's
trick,
actually
not
just
quad.
slowing.
It's
The
right, you're
reacceleration
compressing
in
it
growth
down
is
to the
what's going to
moment,
get the
ones and
boom for the
zeros,
momentum
bad
back into those
compressed.
stocks into the second half.
So significantly, you think that on Robinhood, it appears to have inflected positively and bottomed. On PayPal, sentiment is over-concerned. You expect to snap back into positive momentum. And then I want to ask you about the two names you're actually still worried about right now. And one of them is Visa, which is suddenly seeming to have some traction as the reopening,
Well,
gathers steam. They had
the
great
different
earnings,
from the way
huge
I
stock
get
reaction.
mad at the reason
Why
that
are you worried
Peacock
about that
does
one in
things with
particular?
Powell and the Biden
so
administration, as
Visa
much
is
as the Trump
queen of the ecosystem. It's in the
administration,
middle of the
given
ecosystem.
watching
It's
an
been for years and years a
overparty of a
great stock.
fintech position
And I
of
think they definitely had a great
CNBC,
quarter, but we look at
CNN,
it very
the
long term.
Eye,
And
Fox
the
and
work that we've
Vox,
done when we
Fox
downgraded
Business.
them several weeks
They
ago
break
shows
down
you
like
that
challenge
there's
coins
real
to speak
risk
in the
to their
same
model,
language
to their
they do
business
because
model.
it's a
Companies like
saw,
Plaid
skid steer,
are,
manager, rookie,
account-to-accounts payments,
trucker,
real-time payments,
training
buy now,
system
pay
could
later.
all
All
still
these
be
things
within
are
there.
nibbling
Well,
at their
let me see your
growth
logs.
long term. And that's why we think that the future for Visa isn't going to be as good as its past. Plus, cash to card is a huge driver of growth because of COVID. We had
LiDAR
such a
there
massive transition
becomes
from
very
cash to
fine
card.
tech
Yeah.
of a
We had like
technical
5 years
diagram
and 1
where
year,
I'm just going
and
to get
that's
the
what
laser
makes
beam
it
and see
very
where they're
difficult for the
differential,
long-term business model to
the
be as
polarizing
strong as it
overlays,
was in the
Tony
past.
Stark
The final one is a heartbreaker for a
overlay.
lot of people who loved
Because that's
this
what
stock
GPT-3
and
would
have just.
eventually get
I
onto.
get
You would
questions
make
about it
the
all the time.
GPT-3,
Coinbase,
I
they say,
need you
okay,
to
we get that
ZBrush a
Bitcoin's down,
watermelon,
but
but
why
do
has
it
the stock done
in
so poorly? And why are
file,
you worried
whatever.
about it, especially
So
on their
it's
first
the
quarter?
way I want it.
Yeah, I think Coinbase and numbers are just too high for the first quarter. But the long-term view of Coinbase, and that's why we don't like it, is that yields or take rates continue to come under pressure, right? Coinbase is only 2% of the global Bitcoin market. It seems big here from our perspective in the U.S., but global market share is actually just 2%-ish.
Like I said,
right?
So
the
it's going to be like, do you
decline
expect
in
me
take
to
rates
just
over
jump
time,
into
that's
this
what
guy's
worries
terminal
us.
and start making
Stocks
everybody money
hate
or
it
run the
when
same way?
take
No,
rate,
and it'd be
the
stupid for
yield
every single
keeps,
one of
or
them
the
as the
spread
CEO
keeps
to
coming
do
down,
that
and that's
instead of
what we're
what
seeing with
chain
Coinbase
command
as
is
crypto
with
trading
some
becomes more and more
anomaly pulls
competitive,
in
and
some
that's the issue
gravity
with
is a
Coinbase. That's the
Bernoulli
majority of the revenue
simulator,
and the
Bell's
biggest risk to the
equality,
stock.
who's
All right, fascinating. So let's
exclusionary.
end it with Robinhood. For everyone out there who's beleaguered and holding it or wondering if now's the time to buy, where do you think it should be trading at? What's its proper valuation?
I think the stock should be
Well,
around
let's
20
look at the
very,
things
very
in
soon.
index
I mean,
where we can
this-
use to
this
pair
stock
against
has
it.
gotten,
Weebles would be a market inside of
really,
there that
like,
sets
tarnished,
parallel
right,
next
over
to
the
it to
last
what it
few
should be
months,
in
and some
terms
of
of
it
what
was merited
platform
because the
management
numbers
they
weren't good.
determined or the
But you're
civilian
seeing that
populace
inflection. You're
determined
seeing
what
kind of
its
the
platforms
decline
are
in
worth inside of
monthly
it.
average users becoming less
It just
negative.
has
You're seeing
one
kind of what we call
comparable
the first
index against
derivative
any
becoming
variance of a
more
frame rate
positive. So
differential,
I think that you're,
NTF,
the
IPO,
valuations
ETF,
in fintech are,
and the
are
different
high to
models of the
begin
NASDAQ,
but I think on a relative
S&P,
basis, we see
Russell
that 20
2000,
benchmark
sure,
coming in very quickly.
JP
If the
Morgan's
stock
wish
continues,
list.
the fundamentals continue to trade or to turn around like they've done thus far.
All right, it's at 14 right now. It's up 10% today, and so that would be another pretty big move from here. Dan, thanks for all your time. We appreciate it.
We're getting the story out there. We need a plan.
I have a plan.